It's so good to see you.
Likewise. Oh gosh, you do so much for all of us. We just are blessed to have you.
You make us all laugh, and that is something we're going to be talking about negotiation today. And you are the best of the best. Doing what you do for, I don't want to date you, but decades. You actually helped us kick off a series at Agent Studio called Noontime Negotiations, and this was a few weeks ago. And let's start with the 3 tips that you shared there. You said, trust the process, listen and learn. What does that mean? Give us a deal that you were sort of like, look, if I didn't listen to that one point and understand how to pivot, that deal would have never happened.
We're always taught to listen, always. And it's a really, really hard skill. I know when I started this way as a pup, is you just feel the need to fill the space or prove you could add to the conversation or say something. And it's okay that you don't, because you'll learn more from listening. I was selling an apartment. It was actually at 56 Leonard, and it was a very big apartment. When I say big, but when I say big dollars, over 35 million. And the buyer kept coming back, and he was actually looking at a lot of properties in the downtown neighborhood with different brokers. So there really wasn't much loyalty there on his part. So each broker was sort of fighting for the deal where he was interested. The deal was really set in stone, ready to sign. And at the last minute, he started renegotiating, who hasn't? And, well, will the sponsor pay half? Will they pay this? Will they give, how about they just give a contribution to my charity? How about? And it turned out that he just needed some validation that he has a charity because he has a special needs son. And he said, so it was never about the money. It wasn't pay my transfer tax. I need to win, and it doesn't have to be in my pocket. My boyfriend happens to have a special needs son. And I said to him, I understand your day every day, and I will write you a donation. The broker said, okay, when he signs the contract, you could send the check. And I said, no, one has nothing to do with the other. I am going to send the check. It was $1,000 on a $30 million apartment, and he signed it that afternoon. He just needed to be heard.
It was through a lot of listening, all throughout working, with, and the little sort of nuances to know that was going to make the difference. On top of all the things he was asking for, was that an instinct, a hunch? How did you just know that?
He needed to feel good, as everyone should at a deal walk away feeling good. The seller should feel good, the buyer should feel good, and both brokers also need to feel good that they did right by both sides. And this is a celebratory experience. Not this one got over this one, not this one got over this. But at the end of the day, it's still an emotional process.
It is an emotional process. It's also a relationship business. And you are someone that you're meeting with these VIP developers, people that would intimidate FBI negotiators, coming in. When you first meet them, first impression is so important. How do you immediately create that rapport? And really, that's really where the negotiation process starts. You're really establishing that relationship. So talk a little bit about that.
It comes with having experience. Is you're at the same level as they are in what you do. And you just have to own that. You just have to trust the fact that you have information that they need. So for that small moment in time, just understand that they're coming to you for insight, that we have our feet on the floor. We know what's going on in the market. And then as far as the humor, it's not brain surgery. It's letting everyone kind of let down their guard a little. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to, kind of chew it out. And so that's where I go in with a humor or a lightness.
And I have to say that, you've threatened to kick people out of the elevator. You've you've had a little table, getting on the table at a closing. I mean, you've done some pretty crazy things, going above and beyond to sort of make the deal happen. Give us some crazy tales.
One of the ones I really love, I had people I worked with and a developer. They were not present in the meetings completely, and I had to bring offers. And it was like, all right, I got 10. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? And they just weren't. And it was like on the phone and this. So one meeting, I was probably 2 years into this project. Under my desk, like this. No, what? I'm sorry, what? You were asking me about that offer? Yeah. And I go, hold on one second. I'm like, okay. I go, you know what? I need to take this. And I walked out of the room. And this is a tip: take control of the conversation. So when I'm doing a showing and the broker's on the phone and the buyer's listening, or the buyer's on the phone and doing something else and the broker's listening, the message is not getting through. You need a captive audience if you're going to make a point. Like, everyone, listen, this is important right now.
But it comes down to it, negotiation is a lot of nuance, right? And it's a lot of reading the room, reading the body language, knowing your audience, and you're constantly pivoting. And, what are the ways that you read your audience, that you sort of, start to kind of uncover the why?
I was taught early on, I should say, that if you could ask anyone any one question, it's not what size, what price, what location. Those are such exact answers. It's why. So when someone says, I don't like that couch, or my couch won't fit in here, why? You know what? They are so attached to that couch because it's their grandmother's, or they need an excuse to get rid of that couch because it's from their ex-girlfriend. There's always a why. So the pivot of, could also be, oh, interesting, why? So I find that very important.
What is interesting about the way you said that why is you did so with curiosity, right? And not judgment. And right. So there's this invitation to tell me more about that. And isn't that the definition of listening, is asking these open-ended questions that are going to help you really be able to deliver?
It's a dance. It's for the brokers to trust us, that we know our product. We're not going to show penthouse to studio. We're going to be very directed on what your customer needs. But it's also important to answer questions. What do you like? What don't you like? It's not showing a hand. It's, I might have something else that you haven't thought of. And just because the broker saw it in the listing, it's not so literal. The way deals are being done in this market is because of relationships with brokers. I have a little sense of where my developer is. You have a little sense of where your customer will be. It doesn't mean we're showing everyone's hand, but we get closer and closer and closer. So the dance starts with trust, that I'm going to show the product in its best light to your customer. I'm not going to talk blank, blank, blank about another project. This is your child, this is your job, I'm not going to step over, well, that's awful. So it's just a level of trust that we are as transparent as we can be legally, in the sense that this is what we have, this is the pricing, every day is a different day, every day is a different deal, but I could tell you this is sort of where a comfort level is. What are you thinking? What are you seeing? And even to the negotiation, which we spoke about also, is call me before, when I say me, call us before you place the offer. Manage expectations.
Let's talk about the power of no, right? Because that's one of the most important words when it comes to negotiation. And you are someone that is not scared to say no, and to do it nicely, but with style.
It has taken me decades to learn that word. because I'm the person, no problem, got it done, taken care of. I learned the hard way of just being, raked over the coals and beaten up and taking responsibility for so much that actually it came from self-preservation, that I just purely did not have enough energy to take care of everyone and every answer. And by even suggesting I'll ask is almost the equivalent to a yes, even though you know the answer is a no. But you wanted to be nice. You wanted to be nice. There's like a theme. Everyone wants to be nice.
You could still be nice and say no and say it very quickly with a lot of certainty.
I mean, I did several projects where I was the only one, so I wore a lot of hats. So wearing a lot of hats, I was like, no problem, no problem. Now I'm like, it's the plate spinning. Got it. And the plate started falling, and I had to pick which plate I wanted to keep spinning. So it's just a lesson in personal growth.
Talk a little bit about how you might pivot if, let's say, there is a big building going up that's going to block the view. That's such an important strategy when it comes to negotiation.
Just knowing the facts, and personally I find just the transparency. And it's a very easy lesson that's good for personal life. The two tips I might add is, if you tell the truth, you never have to remember anything. So give the facts, stand behind them. We're messengers at the end of the day, but you have to be an informed messenger.
And so much to learn from literally every word you say. And it comes naturally to you, it just comes out. But these are things that really, really take an incredible amount of experience and understanding, having that trust and saying less, listening more, asking great questions, starting with why. So many great nuggets here. So Liz, I have to tell you, I have a little surprise for you. Because, one of the best negotiation strategies is you got to keep something in your back pocket.
Always.
You got to have a cherry on top, right? So, and I know we've learned a lot of lessons of negotiation really when we were young, even lessons in kindergarten. Wouldn't you agree?
Right, everything you needed to know you learned in kindergarten.
All right, so we got to learn from a kindergartner. So Lucas, come here. We're ready for you, bud. Hello, Liz. All right, so Lucas, we are learning what is important when it comes to negotiation. What do you think?
Be nice.
Be nice.
Prove it. Let's see.
Let's sit back so we can see it. There you go. Our last tip is to be nice, right, Lucas?
All the time. Thank you, guys. Thank you for visiting us at the Park Loggia.